Hello, everyone. This is Catherine Waddell of thisneedstobesaid.com, and tonight's call is about your business and radio, how we're going to put those two together. I want to make sure that everyone's on the right call. I know I do several of these calls, and I appreciate those of you who tune into every call that I do. I'm grateful for you, but I want to make sure you're on the call that you want to be on tonight, and this one is about if you can teach what you know, you ought to be in radio. So if you're like not in the right class right now, hop off and get back to whatever you were doing. If you are in the right class, stay put. Make sure you have your pen and paper out, and we're going to get ready to get started. All right. Our objective for tonight is to show you how to expand your brand by being a part of an established radio platform. As an educator, I've found that my classroom has been over the radio airwaves. I have a bachelor's degree in education and working on a master's in English. So teaching is a passion of mine, just not in the square box of a classroom. That is not going to, it didn't work for me. So I found that over the radio airwaves, that has been the best classroom for me. And the students that I have been those who desire a fresh perspective on life. These are people who are everyday people, just like yourself, just like me, and they want to hear from other everyday people about things that they encounter, not necessarily issues or problems, but they want someone who's an expert in that area, and they want an opportunity to window shop you. So if you've ever thought about doing something like buying a home or getting your credit fixed or understanding politics or making a bedroom better with your partner, all of those conversations are things we talk about on my radio show. And we've talked about many things. I've recorded over 1,000 radio shows in the past 5 years that I've been on air. I've worked with more than 40 business owners over that time to bring their business to radio. And it's helped them. Most of them have talked about their confidence being boosted by having this experience with me and with This Needs to Be Said, which is exciting because not only do they get to learn something new and expand their business, but I get to learn something new because we've partnered together. So I get to take what I know, teach it to them, they teach me what they know, and it all works together, and we teach what we know together to the radio audience. And a lot of times in business, we're thinking of what's the new way I can get myself out there. Yes, I'm on social media. I may run newspaper ads. I may get to, Facebook ads. I may, do a phone blast where I'm, directly telemarketing to people. Whatever method or message you're using, you want to see what else is out there. What can I do that's going to be radically different? That's what we're going to talk about on tonight. I wanted to share with you guys just some information. Take notes because ultimately I want you to consider putting your business with This Needs to Be Said. So as you're listening for this opportunity to expand what you already do, to bring more awareness to what you already love to, I want you to take copious notes, and I want you to ask questions. Now, most times I would say there are stupid questions, but tonight there are no stupid questions, okay? There are really never any stupid questions. If you don't know, this is the time to ask when we open up for question and answer. So while I am speaking, write down your questions, and then we will get to those questions during this call. Okay, fair enough? All right, so like I said, I've worked with more than 40 business owners, and I've had the pleasure, the astute pleasure, I've had the pleasure of working with over 40 business owners, and many of them had never as so much done an interview about their business on radio, let alone thinking about being a radio commentator. So that was weird for them. I am on each weekday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I've learned that my biggest asset to the radio show is allowing people who are experts in their field to join me on the platform and teach what they know. I couldn't possibly know every single thing there is to know in a manner that would allow you to get a full understanding and to determine I'm going to use this service or I'm not. I'm going to try this parenting skill with my kids or I'm not. I'm going to vote this way or this way. Like, I don't have that much information, but what I do have is a platform that I can share with people who specialize in those areas, and they can help you and help me. You're going to want to know some things like, do I have to already, know media lingo or do I need a media degree? And I'll give you that right away. No, the answer is no. But before we get too far into the conversation, I want to do a few housekeeping things just so that we are on the same page and you all are able to keep up with me. Let's see. I see Ramon there. Okay, I got somebody trying to get on the call. Let's see if we can help them out in just a moment there. Amber, I might enlist you to help Shu to get on the call, if you can inbox him. So if you guys can hear me, the inbox is open for any questions. Ramon, thank you so much for being on. And Tony, thank you for being on. Each person, I don't know who all is on right now, but for the handful of people I knew that joined before I put us on record, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. And I'm definitely looking forward to your feedback and your questions. Okay? Want to make sure that you have your phone muted. Make sure you have pen and paper out. Make sure that you are in a quiet area where you will not be disturbed during this call so that you can hear, you know, everything that you need to make a decision about would partnering with the radio show be a good idea for your company, okay? Also, I want to show you a couple of things that I've done over the past 5 years that have made it so easy for the listeners to tune in, because you're not going out looking for people. There are people already tuning in. I have 5,000 dedicated listeners per month, and that's been holding steady for a couple of years now. And you want to find out if what you have to offer works for them. And I found that being able to share on the radio, you're sharing what you already know. You don't have to prepare notes. You've already done that. You've done one-on-one talks with your clients before, whether over the phone or in person or over the internet. You've already prepared a script. So you're bringing your knowledge to an audience that's waiting for your information. Now, of course, you will help share it on social media like you would with your business, but you're not going to look for people who are tuning in to This Needs to Be Said. They're already there. We are bringing your product to the audience and sharing with them some things for them to consider. We've put together a phone app, and it's free for them to download, so whenever that blue elephant pops up on their phone, that they know there's some good information coming through. They know that we have a show. They may have a deal that's coming through, a special because they are affiliated with us. They get a discount or just something special is happening when that elephant pops up on their phone app. And just so you can see how very easy it is to download this phone app, I want each of you to go over to thisneedstobesaid.com and download the free phone app. And I promise you it takes under 1 minute. You'll see how easy it is. And in the coming days, when the radio show is coming on, you don't have to remember not to forget, because it's going to pop up and remind you that there's some good news coming through. All right, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that. While I'm talking, I said this earlier, make sure you write down any questions that you have so that you don't forget. I'm terrible with that. If I'm listening to someone and I have a question and it's not question and answer time and I do not write it down, when it's time to ask questions, I've forgotten my question. So I want to make sure you guys don't forget anything that you want to ask me on tonight. And I'm checking. I want us to have fun. We're going to have lots of fun. And good. I got over all the housekeeping stuff. So housekeeping stuff is done, all right? The radio platform is a platform that I've created. This Needs to Be Said. It actually started out as a blog, just something that was just randomness. I would see something or hear something, a conversation that just didn't make sense, and, you know, I felt like, you know, this is what I would have said, or this is what I said, and get feedback from other people. Should I have said that? And if you follow me on Facebook, you know that I have a Help Me Settle an Argument bit. All the arguments are not mine at all, but it's great conversation starters. And that's what This Needs to Be Said is about, conversation starters. We're not here to solve people's problems, offering a different perspective maybe, but not to solve their problems. The commentators on the show, they have input. I've had people to contribute music, contribute outlines, workflows, offer suggestions. They've invited other people to be hosts on the show. They are a part of the network in its truest form. All the ideas are not my ideas. I have some great ideas, and I have people who have great ideas, and that's one of the great things of being a part of a network. You get to brainstorm with them. You probably will do business with them. You probably will buy things from them. They'll buy from you. You'll probably partner on projects, which has happened with many of the commentators. We support and encourage each other to be successful in your journey. As a business owner, that's something that you need. You need that support. Because oftentimes, if you are working with your friends who work on a 9-to-5, or they may be a stay-at-home husband or wife, they don't quite understand being an entrepreneur, and you're having a conversation with them, at some point it's going to be a disconnect because they don't quite understand why you stay up so late, or they don't quite understand why you put so much into what you're doing. They're going to think it doesn't take all of that. And that's a different mindset. We're not saying that they're bad. They're just not the right support for you and your business. So being in an environment where you can do what you love, teach what you know, and be around people who understand the journey that you're on to support you and to work with you is an awesome opportunity. Again, I want to say that I'm grateful for you taking the time out with me on this evening, because you could be doing anything else. You absolutely could. And I'm grateful because I believe you think what I'm sharing with you is going to be valuable, and I guarantee you that it will be. I'm going to check the chat box in just a minute. I don't have it up because I'd be busy trying to look at the box instead of talking to everyone. So I'll look at the chat box in just a bit. If you guys are posting any comments or anything there, I'll see it in just a little bit. Over this next hour, less than an hour now, the topic that we're going to cover is if you can teach what you know, you ought to be in radio. Just that simple. And simply put, you already know your area of expertise. You're already passionate about something. You just need a different platform to get the word out about what you do, okay? And that's what I want to offer you on tonight. Before we get started, we did go over our housekeeping things, and I want you just to really take in some things that are familiar to you. Like everyone is familiar with Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz, Iyanla Vanzant, Susie Orman, all on Oprah's network. These people had their area of expertise. They were not radio or television hosts by any stretch before they got on the platform with Oprah. And it was an excellent opportunity for them to take what they already knew and put it on a bigger platform, put it on a different platform, you know, just to take a turn from what they're already doing in their marketing strategy. What I'm offering you is something to add to your marketing strategy. You're not coming with any new news, just a new platform. Okay, so this is to give you an idea of the direction that we are going in. Radio has been a great tool to give, and let me give you three options, three things. Radio has been a great tool to give the audience a sneak peek of what you offer, and it helps boost confidence. You may already feel like you have confidence, but when we talk about putting you on radio or television, all of a sudden it seems like that confidence goes out the window. You're still confident and you're still passionate, but radio gives that extra boost because you are now listening to your own voice. You may feel like you're talking to yourself, but there are people actually listening to you. And the last thing is it challenges your skill set. It challenges you to stretch beyond what you've already done in your marketing strategy. It challenges you to do a little more research. It challenges you to put a time frame on your talking. If you tell a person, I'm going to talk in front of you for 15 minutes, you want to stick to that. No matter how good you feel like the conversation is going, you want to give people what you've told them. You want to give them what you promised and not take up too much of their time, allow them to make a decision about what it is you offer. And that's what we do together. I coach you into boxing your message in a good way, nice and neat, and people are going to want to be engaged and they want to hear more. We want to give them just enough to keep them coming back, right? So three things. Radio offers a sneak peek, boost of confidence, and it stretches you, all right? In your business, more than likely, you've sat down one-on-one with clients already, so you already have a script prepared. One of the co-hosts that I've had on This Needs to Be Said told me that her confidence has been dramatically increased, and she started with me about a year ago, had not done an interview about her business. She had not been on radio before, but she had a blog that she was writing and a pretty nice following, but she had never used her voice. And she's done so many things. Now, she's written ebooks before, but now she's syndicated, and that simply means she's being aired on multiple platforms now as opposed to just one platform, for those of you who are not as familiar with radio terms. For those of you who are, bear with me. I want you to also know I'm not that technologically savvy. Ramon, he's on the call, and he knows I am not that technologically savvy when it comes to doing things with the radio show, and I've been doing this for 5 years, so you do not have to be technologically savvy to do a radio show or even to do a radio segment. You're going to have support every step of the way. The lady that I'm talking about, who's been with me for the past year, and her confidence has been boosted. She's done more speaking engagements. She's on other radio shows. She's written an e-course since she's been with me. Her name is Deanna Heiliger, and her website is metothepowerofwe.com, and each month she comes with us and talks about how to look at any situation you encounter in a positive way, not with your head in the clouds kind of thing, but she helps you to be more positive, just simply put. And so she's working now on a course to be a life coach, and I think that's a perfect fit for her. But these are things that she's found more confidence in stepping out and doing, and she's located in Arizona. We have people around the globe. The beautiful thing about radio is you can have anybody anywhere in the world on your radio platform. I've had someone from Australia to be a part of the show. I've had someone as far as California to be a part of the show. I'm based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've had people from Alabama and Texas and Virginia, just all over, be a part of the This Needs to Be Said platform. And it's always exciting because we've had credit counselors, sex doctors, pastors, politicians, chefs, parenting, relationship coaches, just to name a few. We've had if you encounter it in your life and it's something that you may, shy away from a little bit, that's what we're talking about. We're exposing the elephants in the room. So if you're wondering if there are any topics that are off limits for my platform, the answer is no, because we're exposing the elephants in the room, okay? We want to bring your knowledge and passion to This Needs to Be Said platform and begin to expand your brand. While we're working together, you're going to learn how to make money while being on radio as well. You're going to learn how to do commercials, sponsorship, voiceover work, as well as leasing airtime to other people. All of these are just a few ways to start expanding your brand on an established platform. This Needs to Be Said, like I said, has been around for 5 years, and I have helped several radio show hosts expand and be on their own. Tamika Carter started out on This Needs to Be Said as the one who covered our movie reviews. She now has a radio show called They Call Me Miss Carter. And then Pastor Juan Goodson of Restoration Ministries, Church of God in Christ, he's still with This Needs to Be Said, but he has his own Friday night show that he does called Let's Just Talk Radio. And you can find both of those shows on Blog Talk Radio. Follow them, listen to them when you have an opportunity. And that's just a couple of people that have started their own radio show. There are a few others. And it's just exciting when I go back over the timeline and the people that have come my way, and we've helped each other grow in our business by leveraging my network and their knowledge. It's just been a treat. We have a segment on This Needs to Be Said now called 2 Hour Journey. One of our past commentators, Ahmad Daniels, has a book called To Your Journey. So now it's just kind of stuck. He's gone on to do triathlons and stuff like that. He's a very athletic, critical thinker, so he's doing different things. He left us, I believe, when he was going over to Europe. I think there was a bicycle tour that he was a part of. And, man, he's in excellent health. And he sent some pictures back, and we got to celebrate with him for something that he was preparing for, so he had to leave the show for that. Many people are on the platform for a particular time, just like anything you would do in marketing. You may be on a platform for 3 months because that's all you need for the promotion of a particular product or service that you're offering, or you may need to be on, for an extended amount of time. Pastor Goodson has been with me since the beginning in 2009. Dr. Willihan is one of the sex doctors. She's been with me since 2009. One of the politicians, he's been with me since 2011. So a lot of people stay, and then a lot of people, they go through their cycle and then they have to grow on to something else, whether it's their own platform. One of the ladies that I was telling you all about, she had never been on radio, had never been interviewed before, and she was helping us with credit solutions, how to repair our credit on the radio show. And since she's been on our show, she's also been one of the hosts on a television show. She's also gone on to start another show with someone else, and she started a YouTube channel, and it's called Ask Tani TV. Her name is Tanisha, and you can find her at asktani.com. And it's just interesting the things that people build confidence in doing after they've been on radio with me for just a little while. The thing is, you have to be teachable. If you are teachable and you can teach what you know, we can work together, absolutely, okay? I want to stop for just a moment. I'm going to take a look and see what the comments or questions are at this time, and we're going to address some of those, okay? All right, I love me to the power of we. All right, Amber. I don't see any questions in the box that we have together here. If you do, all right, if you do have any questions, go ahead and put them over there. If not, I do have some questions that were submitted to me, and I wove some of them into what we were already saying, but I will go back over them so that you'll have know what the question is and what the direct answer is to that. So you guys can put your questions over there now, and I'm going to go through the list that was submitted to me already. Can this opportunity work for any business? Can being on the radio, teaching what you know, work for any business? And the answer is yes. The next question, are there any topics that are off limits? We did go over that, and the answer is no. The premise of this needs to be said is to expose the elephants in the room. If it's a topic that people shy away from, we need to talk about it. Now, again, it's not about giving you the answers, but it's giving you something to think about. Whether you have a child that has come out to you to tell you that they're gay, if you have a family member that's addicted to drugs, if you don't know if you should be a Republican or a Democrat, if you don't know if you should be living by, the principles of the Bible or Buddha or Islam, it doesn't matter. We're going to have a conversation about it in a critical way, meaning it gives you something to think about. We're not trying to bend you to the way we think, but we're giving you a perspective. And if you can do that while teaching people, be objective, then you absolutely want to be a part of This Needs to Be Said. Excuse me. What type of business owners have you had on your platform? And some of those I mentioned, a pastor, a politician, excuse me, a chiropractor. I have an estate attorney, a gynecologist, a credit counselor, life coach, marketing expert, nonprofit business coach, a chef, a career coach, an accountability coach, and a travel expert. In the past, we've had someone on to talk about relationships. We've had a chef that talked about healthy alternatives to the things we like to eat. You don't want to give up those things. How do you fix it in a healthy way? We've had a tax expert, a book marketing expert, and motivational speakers, just to name a few. And as I keep thinking, there's more and more people we've had on the show that have shared their knowledge with us. But I wanted to give such a big list so you have an idea. There's no limit to the things that need to be said. And there's a place for your business and a place for you to expand your brand. The next question, how many times can I host a segment? And it's been my experience to not overwhelm someone who doesn't do radio every day. I'm on Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what I do full time, okay? But everyone else who I'm talking to, whether it's, you all on the call or someone one-on-one, you have a business, and you're trying to figure out how to put your business with radio. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with the planning of your segment. So we advise people to do no more than 2 30-minute segments per month, and that way you still have time to do your business and then use the radio show as a way to market. What if I feel like I don't have a voice for radio? Your voice is the right voice. People want to hear from everyday people about topics that are real to them. Now, those are the questions that were submitted to me. Let me go to the inbox and see what people have to say over here. Okay, there's one question. Kimmy wants to know, do you have a topic about leadership network marketing? I don't already have one on my platform for that. I don't, so I'm absolutely open to that and hearing some more. Okay, I see. I am a songwriter and singer, and I am more comfortable with just doing and not teaching. What do you suggest for me to do with getting started with radio? Now, this is going to stretch you. One of the three things I said radio would do for you, and that third thing was to stretch you past what you already do. So if you're already comfortable with doing, I'm getting ready to make you uncomfortable and teach you what I know, because this is what I get to do. I get to teach you what I know, and I get to walk with you to help you feel comfortable with teaching music in a different perspective. Now, of course, if you're doing something with YouTube, if you're not doing anything with YouTube, you should absolutely start that. But it's the same thing, except for YouTube, we can see you, okay? But what we do with radio is I walk with you and I coach you the whole way. And because you're passionate about what you're doing with songwriting, it's going to make it easier for you to get comfortable on radio. We have to do it so that you'll know, okay? I like that. Those are great questions. I have a couple of more questions that were submitted to me offline that I want to share with you all to get your wheels turning. Let's see here. Okay, here's one. I'm nervous just thinking about being on radio. What if I get stage fright? Now, it's kind of along with what Amber just asked. And I've encountered this question so many times because that's the first thing people say. I don't know about being on radio. I don't know if I have the voice for it, and I don't know that I have the nerves for it. And I shared with you all the young lady who had not done an interview about her business, but now she's on another radio show. She has been on the This Needs to Be Said television, as well as she started her own YouTube channel, AskTawny.com. You want to go check her out. And even message her, let her know that you heard about her on this call, and just ask her, hey, how did you get over being nervous? And she will let you know that us working together with This Needs to Be Said has been a big part of her being able to do those things, stretching out of her comfort zone. Will I need to go back to school to specialize in media? The answer is no. I'm going to coach you every step of the way. Again, this is my opportunity to teach you what I know. Do I need special equipment? Ramon may disagree with me. It's more of a preference than a necessity. The answer is no, you don't need special equipment. I'm going to teach you how to use your phone and computer to be a radio show host. Your phone instantly becomes a microphone, and this is on the very basic level. I know Ramon wants us to be advanced, and when you get there, I can graduate you to microphones and headphones and equipment that would make you really, really rocking as a radio host. But right now, we're looking at the basics so that we can get you started. Let me see if there's any more questions from the inbox. Yeah, we're going to have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and one of my students from Dreams Woven, a coaching group that I'm over, I told them to use what you have. And one of them needed, Amber is the person, one of them needed to get the sound right for a song they were doing, and they didn't have studio time. And so she got in the closet. I said, the clothes in the closet are going to muffle out the sound. And she has pushed out 2 songs doing it that way. She's used what she had to make things happen for her music. And she knows that this is, doing things basic, and she's just getting started, and she's excited about the journey. So absolutely, we're going to be basic, and then we're going to advance when you're ready. Thank you all so much for those questions. For the people offline, thank you for those questions as well. We're talking about if you can teach what you know, you ought to be in radio. Business owners are constantly looking for different ways to reach the type of people who they want to be their ideal client. When you go through the mall, you're able to look through the windows. You don't have to go into a store to window shop. You just browse around. If you want to go in that store, you see something interesting. If you don't see anything interesting, you keep going, right? Well, radio is a great way for people to be able to do that with you. They're able to window shop. They're able to browse around. They're able to see your pictures on the show description. They're able to follow you on your social media, and they know why they're following you now because they heard you on the radio, or they saw a post about you being on the radio, and just something different. And you'll be amazed that let's say you sell bubble gum, right? And you've been selling bubble gum for 5 years, the same bubble gum. Now you're selling bubble gum on radio. People, for some reason, think it's different. People look at you being on radio as it's larger than life. If you're on television, it's larger than life. They say, oh, she's doing big things. She's selling bubble gum. You've been selling bubble gum. But because you switch things up just a little bit, people are now excited about your bubble gum. It's the same message, same bubble gum, but now it's a new platform. You're doing something different, and their perception is their reality. If they perceive you being on radio as being something huge, they now want to buy into it. Even if they bought bubble gum from you in the past, you're now selling bubble gum on radio, and they're excited about that bubble gum, okay? Same message, different platform, different presentation. Being a part of the This Needs to Be Said radio network, you will learn how to make your social media sites more efficient, because social media is such a big part of what we do in our marketing strategy, in our businesses, how we engage with our friends and family. You're so attached to it, but you want to make sure that it's efficient. And you may feel like, well, I'm doing okay right now. So as we work together and we're coaching together, I'm going to go, and the other peers on the radio show are going to go and look at your page, and they're going to look at the consumer. They're going to wonder, they're going to say, would I buy from this person? And we offer each other feedback. You may have social media down to a science. You just needed a new perspective. A lot of times, if we don't have someone keeping us accountable, we are not as smooth as we need to be. I need someone to keep me accountable just in case I'm goofing off too much and having too much fun, as opposed to focus on what it is that This Needs to Be Said is about. So you want to make sure that you have someone in your corner that helps you keep your message clear. What did you say your message was? You sell bubble gum? Okay. Well, you shouldn't be talking about chapstick as much as you do. Let's get back to the bubble gum, okay? I know the bubble gum is a fun illustration. Maybe I want some bubble gum. And then I want you to understand that I understand that you are probably doing most of the work in your business. So I want you to go ahead and take your pen and paper out, because there's a site that I want you to go that's going to help you right away, that's going to help you get more done with your business. There are people who are looking for internships, and they need college credit. And that means more than likely you are not paying for them to do the internship with you. If you can write up a job description and give it to them, you can find someone that needs college credit, and they can help you with your business, okay? Whether it's getting your social media up and running or smooth out, or if it's helping you to do some research, if you can put up a job description, they can help you. The website is internships.com, internships.com. I'm going to actually put that in the message box as well so you can see it. On this site, you're able to find an intern who needs college credit, and you're able to use their services. Here you go. Okay, that's not it. And I'm putting the internships.com. That's the link there. I don't know if it's going to come up as a link. Let's try this again. www.internships.com. There we go. All right. So that's a great way. And if you're a small business, new business owner, one-man show business, you need a lot of support, and a lot of times you don't know what to delegate. But this will be a good start for you to be able to delegate. All right. I know this tool immediately is going to be of great use to you. It's free to sign up. And again, internships. Somebody who needs college credit, you're not going to need to pay them. They need a grade. They need a good grade. They need to do a good job, okay? We've talked about radio helping boost confidence. We also want you to understand that it helps to enhance what you're already doing. If you're already selling bubblegum, it gives a new light on your bubblegum selling, okay? It enhances what you do. It's expanding what you do. And you start trying stuff and experimenting. You're like, well, if I can do radio, then I could probably do a YouTube video, or I could probably do television. I can do some voiceover work. Deanna Heiliger, MeToThePowerOfWe.com, she has done more voiceover work over this past year. I think she's probably done more voiceover work than I've done. She has commercials coming in every week that she's put her voice over, and she did not think that her voice would be one that would be good for doing commercials. She absolutely loves it now. She just bought a new headset, and she has a recording software, and she's off and running, and she's found a way to make some money in addition to being a host on the radio show, okay? So when we're looking at doing something in our business, enhancing it, we're looking at changing some things, right? And you may be updating a logo or rearranging a newsletter, and that's fine if those things need to be done. But when you want to do something radical, I'm thinking radio is the way to go. Because, again, it's the perception. People are looking at you as big time. You've taken a huge step. They do not know what goes into it, but they appreciate the fact that you took that chance, because now it's not just bubble gum, it's something bigger. Even though to you it's still the same message, it's something bigger because you're giving a different approach, and it looks like you're going outside the box, because people look at radio show hosts as if you went to school for that. And as long as you get training, you're still going to be effective, and you will now become a radio show host. You get to add that to your list or your resume of things that you have under your belt. And when I teach you how to create a commercial or to create your segment or to come up with a theme song, you get to add those skills to what you do. You're not only that business owner, but you're now a business owner, a radio show host, television host, whatever we do working together, you begin to build on that, and you can add to it, and people see the accolades, and it works. It really works for you, okay? I want to stop one more time. We're 20 minutes away from wrapping up this call. I want to know if you all have any more questions at this point in the chat box. If you do, go ahead and give those to me, and I'll address them as we're wrapping up the call. Hey, Hanif, see you there. Hey, Tony. All right. I like that y'all are talking in the box here. And thank you again for your time. I will not go over time. I want to make sure that we're covering things. And a lot of the people that have joined me tonight are other radio show hosts, and we can always learn from each other. You guys have encouraged me by taking time out of your schedule to be with me on tonight. This topic is, if you can teach what you know, you ought to be in radio. I want to do another part to this conversation, because if you're a radio show host, sometimes we don't know how to maximize our platform. Some of us do, some of us don't, and I would like to extend that. So that will be a bit more advanced portion, because after you've established your radio show, you are able to then go on and establish a whole network and have commentators that, you know, help you build your brand as well as you helping them to build their brand. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box, and I do have a couple of more offline questions as we're getting ready to close up. Someone wants to know, what if I'm not available during the live show from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? No problem. We teach you how to record your segment, so that way I can still air it during the time that I do a live show. Some people want to know, can I have guests during my segment? And absolutely, you can have guests and you can interview, and I coach you to be able to schedule interviews for your segment, as well as making sure that you have good questions. So I help you, coach you with that. Someone said to me they like my theme music. Do they get theme music too? Now, that is a creative process. I will show you how to get that done. I don't provide the theme music for you. That's something that you would come up with that fits nicely into what your theme is that you cover. How do I get advertisers? You must join This Needs to Be Said Network, and I will go in detail and show you how to do that. Do people call into the show? Sometimes people do call into the show, but I don't want you to get nervous, because you will not be on air alone. I get to screen the calls. There will be someone that screens the calls. So you're not there alone. You don't need to be nervous. You're always going to be supported. And when you're feeling confident and you don't need me anymore, I'll just be in the background listening, just as a student does, okay? Now, earlier someone asked me what type, is this platform open for any kind of business? And I said yes. Now, someone else wants to know, what is the ideal type of business? And I have to say, the ideal type of business for this show is a business where you deal with your clients virtually, like you can do stuff with them over the web and over the phone, that they don't necessarily have to come to you in person, okay? All right. Do I need to live in Charlotte, North Carolina, where you are, in order to be on This Needs to Be Said? And the answer is absolutely not. You can call in from anywhere in the world, okay? Whether you are in Australia or California or in Florida, I don't care where you are, you can call in and be a part of This Needs to Be Said. We even have Skype, so you don't have to necessarily call and run up your phone bill. You can Skype into the show and be a host as well, okay? I told you guys I'm not tech savvy, and I saw Ramon was on with us earlier, and I said that for his benefit because I'm not that clever with technology. I will bug him to no end to make sure that my sound and stuff is right with my show. And I miss sometimes because I'm trying out new things, and that's okay. We're going to explore. But I'm living proof that you do not have to be tech savvy in order to be a radio show host. You just need to know what you're passionate about, and you get to share that with the This Needs to Be Said audience. Now, there's something I want to do for those of you who are on the call tonight, and it's only for you all that are on the call tonight. Everybody else will not get this same offer. I have put together a link, and I have emailed it to you, that has a trial offer on it. If you want to be a commentator with This Needs to Be Said, you're able to do that. Normally it's $50 a month, and you get up to 2 30-minute segments with This Needs to Be Said. You can do 1 or 2, but for the first month, if you sign up in the next 10 days, you can do it for $25 for the first month, and then after that it'll be $50. But if people didn't register for this call, they're going to get the $50 rate off the gate. And it's a coaching and commentator package. I coach you, I work with you, and the goal is to help you be successful in expanding your brand. This Needs to Be Said wants to be a part of your marketing strategy. As I shared with you earlier, we have helped over 40 businesses to expand their brand, to do something different with their business and their marketing strategy. We've had more than 1,000 shows over the past 5 years and lots of listens. We are right at 60,000 for this year listens, and our audience is more of the critical thinking, and we definitely enjoy what we do. We enjoy what we do. Our average per month is 5,000 listens, but we're exceeding that just a little bit this year. I'm looking forward to helping people in their business. I do lots of free conference calls, so any of you who have been on a conference call before, my goal is to give you something that you can use even if you never hire me. But I want to work with you, but my goal is to make sure that you get value from any conference call that I host and you're a part of, because your time is valuable to me. Now, you're going to check your email, and you will see the link that I'm talking about as far as you signing up for the trial offer with This Needs to Be Said, teaching what you know on radio. Are there any more questions for tonight before I let you go, because I don't want to keep you longer than I promised? Let me check the inbox here. Oh, yeah, being grateful for your team is great. All right, Kimmy, I want you to check your email and let me know that you got an email from me about getting started with This Needs to Be Said. Yep, absolutely. I have a virtual assistant, and I'm getting so much more done with her than I did without her. In my mind, I thought I was getting things done, but I was not. Great conversation in the chat box. Absolutely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unmute everyone, because everyone may not be in the chat box. You may be somewhere else right now. So let's do this. Let me unmute. Okay, I'm going to learn to use my phone in just a moment. Everyone is unmuted on my end, so if you have a question, just, I can't see you, of course. We're virtual here, so raise your hand by saying your name and letting me know what your question is. Just give your first name. And if you have a question or comment at this time, let's go ahead and get that in, because I want to make sure that I address anything that we didn't cover already, okay?
This is Stacy, and
Hey,
my
Stacy,
question
how are you?
Hi, sweetie. How long is the training?
Your training is as long as you're on air with me.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like 6 weeks and then I turn you loose. As long as you're on the This Needs to Be Said platform, there's always training. Because once you get comfortable with being on air, you may say, well, I'm ready to add guests, or I'm ready to add commercials. There's always training. And I may look at some things and say, hey, we need to try something different. And I'll tell you what that different is. But training is always going on. Okay?
Okay, perfect.
Great question. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Hello, Catherine. It's Joe here.
Hey, Joe. How are you?
Good. Great call, as usual. My question is, how long would you say, in your experience, did it take to get, establishment of listeners?
Ask me the question again.
How long did it take you to get a decent establishment of listeners?
Oh, my. I would say because I started by myself and I was not realizing how much of benefit it was to work together with other people, it may have taken me about 3 years to get a decent amount of listeners. But when I added commentators to the platform, that it's like honey, bees came. So had I started out with a team of people, I think it would have been a substantially less amount of time. Maybe within in that first year, I would have seen substantial growth, but I didn't because I was by myself. So about 3 years, and that's when I learned I need people. I need people with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm. Anyone else? You might have me muted if I'm not responding to you. Just want to make sure I get to everyone. Okay. I'm checking one last time to see if we have all questions. Thank you all so much for taking time out tonight and being a part of the call. I've been looking forward to presenting this call. I've covered it on the radio show a couple of times. I may have even posted on social media a couple of times about it. But there are so many business owners out here, and constantly they come to me and they want to know, well, what can I do different? And not just because I do radio, I think you should be on radio, but I've seen what it has done for so many business owners, and they've gained the confidence to go on to, speak or to do their own show or to give other people an opportunity, so they go and establish their own team and platform, okay? Let's say you said Deanna just purchased a new headset. Okay, I can tell you what kind of headset that was she did. And I got this from Ramon Century is the name of the headphones that I got. And that's a preference, so you try some different ones out and see what you like. Is there anyone else that has a question? All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the call tonight. My name is Catherine Waddell of thisneedstobesaid.com. I look forward to you all going out and downloading the free phone app. When you see that blue elephant pop up, you know that there will be some good news you can use coming your way shortly thereafter. If you have any questions outside of this call, you may think of something as soon as we hang up. You're connected to me on Facebook or social media via email. Send me a message, and we will follow up from there. I look forward to seeing how I can help you expand your brand. My motto is let's grow together, okay? As you guys are separated from me, to go back to your lives, I'd love to see you posting on social media our hashtag TNTBS, and let people know what you thought about the call on tonight. Shortly after this call, you will be receiving the recording, so you can go back and listen to any part of it. And you may have tuned in, after we got started or whatever. I want you to get the full benefit of the call. Thank you for taking the time out to spend with me again. Tony, you are absolutely welcome. Thank you for taking the time out. Everyone on the call, thank you for taking the time out to be with me. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.